Ave strategos, I'm Pericles and welcome back to my channel. So today is a Friday and this is our classic temple guides day, which we are with the last faction left on our list that we haven't done the temple guide yet, which is Gauls. So I have already informed you all that the last episode gonna be the Gauls, and here we are. We're gonna be talking about Gaul temples today, their bonuses, their advantages, disadvantages, followers, traits that you might unlock after building those temples, and etc. Pretty much everything we can talk in details. Before jumping to the video, I want to give a quick notice, folks. It's been a couple days that I haven't uploaded any videos to the channel. Due to my heavy workload, unfortunately, and also I kind of used that situation since we were basically done with our Pantas campaign, so I decided to use that situation a little bit, and I am also basically planning to start our campaign very soon. I'm gonna do my best for starting it tomorrow. If not, probably Sunday. You're gonna see a new campaign video for sure. And about the Oblivion, if any of us is basically following, Oblivion is kind of video, kind of series that I do also like to play in my free time, but unfortunately lately I don't have enough free time to sit in my desk and play an Oblivion. But as soon as I do get back to that, we will be playing that as well, and probably I will be uploading that video as well. Alrighty, let's not lose too much time and jump to our temple guide. So we said we'll be talking about the Gallic temples today, and we have 4 options with the Gauls. Gaul is another and the last faction in barbarian culture that we are at, and they are also capped with the minor city theory, which means you cannot build bigger than the large temple, if we have to speak in the terms of the other factions. So which is sacred circle for them, and it is equal to the large temple in Romans, in Greek cultured factions or whatnot. So we said we have 4 of them. We'll go one by one and talk about each one of them. So Gauls and Spain, they have exact same gods, and I believe exact same followers and traits. So content of this video, 80% of this video is same as the Spanish temple guide. When I made the Spanish temple guide, I was not aware that Gauls and Spain are very close to each other, like pretty much identical, the same with each other. So I could have made one video for both, but when I made it I didn't know, so I said okay, I don't want to Gauls just let go. I don't want to combine them after I've already talked a lot of things about the Spain itself. So here we are, another video, and we'll be talking a lot of stuff over again. So we have Tutatis, we have Epona, Abnoba, and Isus, which 4 different temples, each serves for a different purpose. Let's start with the Tutatis. Tutatis is a Battleforge temple, and as I said, also Spain has Tutatis temple, another Battleforge temple, and we have Armenian faction in the game that also they have a Tutatis. They also have a Battleforge temple. Their temple name is not a Tutatis, theirs is Vahagan, but they are the same type of temple. At least in the game they're considered as the same type, but 2 different gods. So yeah, let's see what it gets for us. 5% public order bonus due to happiness, and 1 experience bonus to the troops which trained here. So you usually build the temples for the public order bonus, and experience is also valuable for me, to be honest, especially as early as in the first tier temple. It is great because experience buffs a lot of stuff on your units. For example, if we have to take a look to this general cavalry here, the barbarian warlord cavalry here, So experience points, they don't affect the morale, but they do increase your melee attack. In some units you can see alternative attack here. It increases your alternative attack if your unit has one. If your units are the missile units, it increases their missile attack by 1 point. I'm talking about each 1 point of experience increases everything 1 point. Ammo missile range doesn't change. Total defense goes up to 1%. I think either armor or the defense skill, one of them goes up by 1%. That's why the defense, total defense, goes up 1% as well. And the shield and charge, as far as I know, doesn't change. I think if we have a general here, it has already experience. He got experience and he got experience. I think we can, this guy has 2 experience points, so let's see. 12, 14, 15. So it's mean 3 and 8. What about this guy here? 12, 13. Let's see. Yeah, our melee attack is 1 point higher. So 15 is 3, 8, 4, 7. 3, 8, 4, 7. 3, 8, 4, 7. Yeah, defense skill goes up by 1%. So all the stats goes up by 1%, and it actually huge in the early campaign, so your units is being stronger. You can play a little more aggressive, especially in even situations, like if you have a if you have a warband unit and the enemy has a warband unit, and then yours is advantages over it, if you're not gonna consider the game difficulty and terrain stuff. Alright, and let's talk about what kind of traits and followers you can get through this temple. So first of all, let's imagine that you guys build a shrine to Teutaris, one of your settlements, and which takes only 1 turn. After 1 turn the construction is finished. What kind of traits or followers you might get? There's 2 things we're going to be talking about. One is a devotion for our merchant. So how does it work? Your merchant should be ending the turn in the settlement where this building is already built, or you have to recruit a fresh merchant from that settlement, and in both cases, which recruiting a new merchant takes 1 turn, and ending the turn with your current merchant also takes 1 turn. Next turn, in both cases with 100% of chance, you guys gonna get devotion to forging. There's no way you don't get it. There's only actually one situation you can't get it, which is you have a merchant and you bring him to the settlement, and you ended the turn, but the merchant already had another kind of devotion. So in that case, you're not gonna be able to stack couple devotions on top of each other. One merchant can have only one kind of devotion. So imagine it like a religious belief, and whatever the merchant is attached to as a belief, which this one has to forging, because our temple is a forging temple, battle forge temple, and then you can't have another belief. So that is pretty much logic behind it. And you can see you're getting +1 finance for iron, -1 for the precious minerals, and you can basically tailor it to your needs, tailor it to your game style, and try to get beneficial from it. And another one I will be talking about, it is related to our family member. This can be your faction leader, faction heir, any family member, which we are talking about this druid follower here. So what is this druid follower? Gets you +1 morale for all troops on the battlefield, and +1 command when attacking. Morale is very, very, very crucial stat in the game. One of my favorites. I can say maybe the most favorite one. What does morale gets for you? If you're not playing the campaign with the arcade mode on, which disables the factors such as fatigue and morale, if those settings are on, if your units are getting tired and if they're getting scared and stuff, then having +1 morale is super important, because it means the higher your morale is, the less likely your units will be breaking. So you've probably seen a lot of times you have a unit of peasant, they start to fight, they lose 5-10 men, and then they starting to running away, right? They're starting to routing. So and on the opposite side, your general cavalry, your warlord cavalry, they are pretty much fighting until the last few men left in their unit, and then they start to routing. So this happens because of the morale. Warlord cavalry has high morale, peasants have very bad morale. So imagine having +1, +2 extra morale on your troops is very crucial. And can be a game changer. And command when attacking, I mean, if you are guys playing aggressive as I do in most of my campaigns, then when attacking part is not gonna hurt you a lot, because you will be attacking much more than defending. And +1 command, I can't say it is as great as a morale, but it is another good bonus to have. It's another good stat to have, so why not? But if you might ask, how can I get this follower? So again, you have to have a family member ending the turn in the settlement where you built this temple already, and then next turn, actually not only next turn, each turn he sits in the settlement, he has 15% of chance to get this follower if he has a trait called public faith. And I'm gonna use the console commands here, which we usually do in this series for getting the stuff easier, because this series are informative purpose series. So I'm gonna show you which kind of traits I'm talking about. So we said you have to have this building in your settlement already constructed. You have to have a family member ending the turn in the settlement, and every time he ends the turn, he has 15% of chance to get this follower if he has one of these traits, which I'm gonna be showing right now, present in his skill set already. If he doesn't have any of these, he can't get this through it. That's one condition for him. So public faith 1. We're gonna see how it looks. Devote. If he has devote, every turn, at the end of each turn, with 15% of chance, he might get through it. It might be public faith 2, which is the higher tier of devout. Religious gets you 2 influence. And we have this one over here, honors the gods with 3 influence points, and the last public faith 4 is venerates the gods, 4 influence, 2 line of sight. So any of these 4 traits, if he has, then he might get a druid follower with a 15% of chance at the end of each turn. So I'm gonna completely remove it, since it doesn't it's not related to our temple guide follower and trait list, and we will be continuing from there. So by the way, you might ask, okay, let's say I want to get those, but I don't have this one. I've already built the higher tiers, so that doesn't matter. The requirement is at least the first tier. If you have it higher, then it is not a big deal. You still can get everything I have talked before. Whenever I'm talking about traits and followers and etc., I'm talking about the requirements, which means if something requires the second tier, like Sacred Grove, and if you have the shrine, you're not gonna be able to get it. But if you have a sacred circle, then you're gonna be able to get it. I think that's clear. Now let's jump to the second tier. We have 10% public order bonus right now instead of 5. We got 5% increase here. Our experience bonus for our troops by 1 point stays exact same, but we are getting light weapon upgrade. So what is the light weapon upgrade? If you will take a look to your units, you're gonna see that warband is a light infantry, swordsman is a heavy infantry actually, and this guys is a heavy infantry. What about our cavalry? Light cavalry, these guys are heavy, these guys are heavy, and these guys are missile. So we don't have, okay, so 2 units, warbands and the barbarian cavalry. They are light units, light infantry, light cavalry. Those units getting a light weapon upgrade, which let me see, do I have one? For example, peasant, by the way, also light infantry, which increases their melee attack, as if I'm not mistaken, by 1%. The light weapon upgrade. Heavy weapon upgrade, I don't know we're gonna have it. No, doesn't look like we do have it. If you have like upgrades the heavy weapons, then everything else, like all the other two swordsmen and the cavalry and the dogs, they are getting basically this melee attack +1 bonus as well. Alright, we have another key point over here. After finishing the construction of this building, now we are being enabled to recruit the naked fanatics. So about the naked fanatics, most of you already know, whoever has been following me. I don't like the units which takes 2 turns to build. I do prefer to build 2 different units instead of them, which in most of the cases you are being more advantageous having 2 units instead of 1 unit which takes 2 turns. But these guys, if you have some and if you want to have some, their morale is pretty high. Their melee attack is pretty high. Their defense is not that great, but not bad. Their armor is, they don't have any armor. They're naked, obviously. Defense skill is low. Their shield is fine. Their charge is fine. So overall, it's not a bad unit. But would I recruit it? Maybe for test purposes once or twice, but that wouldn't be the main core of my army because it takes 2 turns, unfortunately. Now let's talk about traits and followers you might unlock after finishing the construction of this building. We're gonna be talking about this trait over here and this priest over here. Let's start with the trait Untouched by Fear. +1 morale for all troops on the battlefield. Again, another morale bonus that is great. And how you can get this trait basically for your family member. You have to have a family member ending the turn in the settlement where you already constructed this second grove of Teutatis. Again, if you have lower tier, that won't work. If you have higher tier, it's not a big problem. You're still gonna have it. You just have to have second grove at least. And you have 15% of chance at the end of each turn for your family member to be able to get this trait. So if he will be staying long enough on the settlement, then he's gonna get that. So it doesn't have another condition like the public faith that we've talked with Druid. Just this, just like the same way as devotion we've talked with our merchant over here. Doesn't requires any other condition, only waiting in a settlement for a couple turns. Each turn you have 15% of chance. If you're lucky, you're gonna get it early. If not, it might take a couple turns. And priest. So we have every temple has 2 unique things. Actually, one is unique, one is not very unique. One is devotion, which is not very unique, but unique is its own way. And another one is a priest or a priestess. It differs from temple to temple. So devotion, we said we have a Battleforged temple, right? Teutatis is a Battleforged temple, which Armenians has Battleforged temple under name of Vahagan. Spain has Battleforged temple under name of Teutatis, and we have Teutatis Battleforged temple as well. So it means all the merchants in all these 3 factions, if they are recruited in a settlement where they have a Battleforged temple, either Vahagan temple for Armenians, Teutatis for Gauls on Spain, they're gonna get a devotion to forging. Exact same trait, exact same bonus. But they all gonna have different priest or a priestesses. I think they all gonna have priest, but with different names. We're gonna get a priest of Teutatis with Spain. We're gonna get priest of Teutatis with Gauls, since they both have the same, but Vahagan is gonna be priest of Vahagan, and their bonus might differ as well. So that's the key difference between them. And another difference, we said this guy cannot have more than 1 devotion. You can have 1 devotion only, devotion to forging, for example. You can't have any other devotion, but you can have couple priests or priestesses in the same person. Like you can have priest of Teutatis, another priest from another temple. You can stack them on top of each other. And another great thing about the followers, you can move them around, move them between your family members. So This priest of Theodatis also has 15% of chance. All the priestesses, by the way, has 15% of chance. I'm gonna mention each time, but as a general information, in every faction, in every culture, in every basically temple, the 15% of chance for priestesses doesn't change. 100% of chance for devotions doesn't change. They always stays the same. And priest of Theodatis gets for us 1 command and 10% discount on unit training cost. Command is more important bonus here than the discount on the unit training cost, because unit training cost, I think, it is not very important. Of course, in this series we've used the cancel commands for increasing our budget, so we don't have to deal with money making. But even in the real campaign, I never, if you're playing right, I always say that if you do put your steps right after turn 15, 20, 25, you never should have a problem until end of your campaign. You're always having like extra couple tens of thousands denarii on your treasure that you don't even know how to use. So discount doesn't sound great, but command is might be useful for you. All right, we are done with the follower and traits with the Theodatis line. I'm just gonna be talking about the last sacred circle of Theodatis bonuses. 15% of bonus from 10% to 15% of public order bonus. Light weapon upgrade stays the same. Our experience point goes up by extra 1%. And also I think we have another extra experience point on the naked fanatic themselves. So basically your naked fanatics is recruiting your naked fanatics is a little stronger than before. There's 1 experience point you get from here on these units, plus you get extra 2 for every unit. You see here I have 2 experience point on my no, I can't see that here. Okay, I have 2 experience point on my peasants, but 3 on the fanatics, because they already have extra 1 from here. So overall, not bad temple line, I would say, and they're more aggressive focus, more like war focused. It kind of pushes you to recruit and fight kind of stuff. But let's see the others, and at the end we can make our decision that which is the best, which one to build, and etc. Now, so we've talked about the first one. I think here's the one. Yeah, Epona. I think that's where I built. Great. So we have Shrine to Epona. That's the second temple we'll be talking about. This is a temple of horse, and Epona has like temple of horse exists only in Gauls and Spain. Spain also has Epona. They are identically the same. They both have a temple of horse, and both of their names are Epona. In the game files, I don't know why even the bonuses are the same. Their names are not the same. They're not coming from the same source. One is Temple of Horse 1, like Epona 1, another one Epona 2. They have differed them from each other, but I don't know why, but they're exactly the same. Let's see. Shrine to Epona, 5% public order bonus and experience bonus for your troops. Exact same start as the Theodatis so far, and exact same bonuses with the exact same basically numbers. Let's check the devotion over here, because that's the only thing we have as a trait wise. A devotion to animals, 1 finance for the wild animals, -1 for the timber. Again, I'm gonna mention that once more time. You have to have a merchant either freshly recruited from the settlement, which you finish the construction for this temple, can be the higher tiers is acceptable as well, or you have to have another merchant which doesn't have any devotion on his skill set. Just bring him to the settlement, and next turn with 100% of chance he'll get it. And now I'm gonna be jumping straight forward to the second tier. 10% public order bonus and 2 experience bonus to troops. So if you remember, we had a light weapon upgrade in the Theodatis, but we have just pure 2 experience points over here, which, if you ask me, for me it's much more valuable. Why? Because we said, first of all, light weapon upgrade. Let's take the light out, right? Okay, let's say upgrades weapons on all of your units. which it means it's only gonna upgrade your melee attack, and if your unit is missile, it's gonna increase your missile attack. Your defense is not gonna get benefited from it, right? So even in here, your experience is already one step ahead. But now, look at that, he said light weapon, and we said we have only peasant, warband, and barbarian cavalry as a light units. Nothing else is gonna get beneficial from it, but extra experience bonus is gonna be applied to all of your troops, to all your missiles, cavalry, infantry, heavy, light, doesn't matter. So that is much more valuable, I think, for me. And since the public order bonus is exactly the same, instead of having +1/+1 here, I would rather have +2 experience. And I'm gonna be talking about the traits and the followers you might get after building basically Sacred Grove of Epona. We have two traits: skilled cavalry commander and poor infantry commander. So in the game files, this guy goes as a good cavalry general 1, bad infantry general 1. Each of them has 10% of chance at the end of each turn for your family member to be able to obtain it. One gets you +1 command for the cavalry, another one gets -1 command when commanding infantry. So you can't basically stimulate to that which 10% to trigger. It is completely random. You might get this guy very early and not maybe get this guy for very long turns, and vice versa. So it's completely depend on luck. But just as an information, keep that in your mind, that if you build this temple in your settlement and you have a general that waits in the settlement for a couple turns, he can get one of those. If you don't want to, of course, if you want to get it any of them on purpose, then that's different story. Bring your general or generals, each of them separately gonna have 10% of chance at the end of each turn. And our priest again here, 15% of chance, +2 command when commanding cavalry. So since it is the Temple of Horse, we can see that it is kind of pushes us to play with the cavalry. But unfortunately, I think it is not very great example, like a faction wise. It's not a great faction example for us that we can play with horses. If we would be playing with like Scythians or Parthians, I would say yeah, that is very important, because most of the time you're playing the horse archers, or like any other faction that has more diversification with the cavalry, then that would make sense. But I think Gauls is more infantry, how can I say, focused army. Of course you're gonna have some cavalry, but I think this is the faction where your infantry comes one step ahead of your cavalry. I might be wrong. I never played with the barbarian factions a lot, and I'm not very efficient with them, but as a observation, that's what I can see. And that is all about the second trait. Oh my god, guys, I hope you're not hearing like too much background noises, because it started to thunder and rain here. If I'm gonna feel like it is getting heavier, then I might give a 30-second break and close my window so it doesn't bother you. Let's jump to the last tier here. Sacred Circle, 15% of public order bonus and 3 experience points for the all troops that trained here. I think overall so far it is much better than as a like line itself, like the building wise is much better than the Ciudades. We're gonna be again doing overall summaries at the end once I'm done with all, but for now this is also another kind of temple line that makes you to recruit a lot of units and push forward, like recruit and fight, which I think that might be pretty suitable for barbarian faction. Now I think on the Lugdunum I have built the Abnoba. Yeah, that's right. So now we're gonna be talking the Abnoba temple line. So Abnoba is a hunting temple. We have another hunting temple with Macedonian faction. Their goddess or goddess is Artemis, and Spain also has Abnoba. Obviously, they're exactly the same as Gauls, and they are the hunting temple. We see since it's a hunting temple, we see the missile weapon upgrade by 1 point over here, and 5% of public order bonus. So public order bonuses in the first tier so far exactly the same, but this guy has one missile weapon point. So this is more like missile focused. The one thing I know, I think the Gauls has one of the best archers in the game. Yeah, I'm right. Forester Warband. So Abnoba might be pretty useful with them because if you have an access for this, of course, like superior range, great morale, and missile attack 11. That's kind of huge. Even their like hand-to-hand combat is pretty decent. Their defense is not that great, but their melee attack is pretty high. I mean, even how much is your swordsman? It is better than your swordsman, to be honest. So yeah, Abnoba line might be actually more efficient with the goals than Spain. But let's see the rest first, and then we decide. And we got a devotion to hunting, another 100% of chance over here. If you met the conditions. One finance for the hides, one finance for the wild animals, -1 finance for the olive oil, and this called devotion to hunting. Again, make sure that you finish the construction for the shrine to Abnoba, or any shrine or any temple to Abnoba that higher than shrine. At least you have to have the first tier, and then make sure you have a merchant ending the turn in the settlement, or recruit a new merchant in that settlement. And then with 100% of chance, next turn you will get this trait. And we will jump forward to the second tier here. 10% public order bonus, 2 missile weapon upgrade. Missile weapon upgrade again goes up steady. What does missile weapon upgrade do? It only increases your missile attack, by the way. Okay, so nothing else is gonna be increased, neither your ammo nor your missile range. Only your missile attack gonna be if it's increased by 1 point, it's gonna be 12. If it's increased by 2 points, then it's gonna be 13. By the way, now I'm paying attention, this guy takes 2 turns as well. But I mean, it really depends. You might want to wait 2 turns for this unit. You might not want to wait 2 turns for the naked fanatics, because for 1 turn you can get this guy, which looks much better than them, right? So why I should wait 2 turns for the fanatic, and but not building 2 of them? Even just 1 unit is gonna beat them up, but you don't have a alternative for this guy, so you might wait 2 turns for it. So it all depends on what kind of unit they are and what they are offering. Do you have a substitution for them? If you don't, then waiting a 2 turn can be acceptable and unavoidable, pretty much. This is all about the second tier. We got like a steady increase on both stats. I'm gonna be talking about the 1 trait and 1 follower again. Faction here is not related, of course, to our temple guide. So we have a good ambusher, 1 command when ambushing. You getting this trait with 10% of chance at the end of each turn. If your family member is ending the turn in a settlement where you've already constructed the second group of Abnoba, or the tier higher on a settlement. Again, I'm not playing a lot with barbarian factions. I don't think so. 1 command when ambushing is very great bonus. Of course, it's good to have. Why not? But I don't know, guys, how often you ambush. I very rarely do ambush. So for me, it's something that if it's there or if it doesn't there, doesn't matter too much for me. But if you do like to have a couple of units with your general in the forests, like if you're trying to do some kind of like a little role playing, little how can I say, trying to give a historical accuracy to a world map you're playing, then if you're trying to ambush to the Romans while they're trying to travel and stuff, then it might be useful for you. But I don't, so just keep that in mind, that it only helps when you ambush. And if you just attack or anything else, it won't get you +1 command. And we see the Priest of Abnoba, again another 15% of chance for each turn. 1 management, 2 command when ambushing, +1 line of sight. Management is good, ambushing command, again, can't say too much, depends on your playstyle. And 1 line of sight is good actually. Line of sight is basically, what is the line of sight? For example, imagine I have my, for example, cavalry here. So you see this area is kind of grayed out because I don't see what's going over there. And when I move my cavalry here, they have their own line of sight, like that circle, that's their line of sight. And with your general unit is slightly higher, and you see like your general can see a little further than your regular cavalry. I think so. And if you have extra line of sight, which means that's the most distance you can see, but if you have extra line of sight, you might see this grid as well. So it basically lets you spot the enemies earlier, especially if you are standing on the high grounds, like here for example. Like as you see, this place is a high ground, this place is a high ground. If you will stay one of those, you're gonna have a greater line of sight, and the another line of sight bonus will come on top of that, so you can stack them on top of each other and have like a kind of watchtower effect on yourself, and basically spot the enemies from earlier, know where the enemy army is heading, is there any threat coming towards you, or what kind of actions going around you, pretty much. So I think line of sight is useful, management is useful. Management directly affects to the income on your settlement. The more management points determines the more income you're gonna get from the settlement each turn. And so overall is not bad priest actually. It is decent. It is a little different than the other two we've seen so far. The others more like how can I say, command and army attack focused, but this guy is more like a little bit, might be scouting, might be defensive, might be, it is like a little bit of a couple things, so it's not like specifically focused on something. Now let's talk about the last tier of the Abnoba temple, basically. 15% of public order bonus and 3 missile weapon upgrade, which is if you're gonna have this guy over here, you're gonna have like 40 missile attack, which is huge. I mean, one of my favorite missile units in the game is a Christian archers. I don't even know how much they have, but they don't definitely have 14 if I'm not mistaken. Like as a base stat, 14 is very high, and of course you can put more experience point on top of that. The more enemies you kill, the more experience they get. Alright, and here we are, our last settlement and last temple line. So Isus temple, this is a temple of justice. We've seen couple temple of justices in the world map in different factions. We have Carthaginian and Numidians. They are sharing Baal temple, which is another justice temple. Egyptians has Set temple, that's also justice temple, and of course Spain has Isus temple, exact same way the Gauls do, another justice temple. Let's see what's going over here. We have 10% overall public order bonuses, bonus from 2 different sources. 5% from the happiness, 5% from the law. The main difference between each other, they both public order at the end, but since you're getting 5% from the law also, which we don't have in this settlement. If you will go to the settlement details, settlement income, for example, that's my capital, right? Let me set my capital this settlement, for example. I'm gonna show you something. So now if I'll go to settlement details, because of the distance I have between the settlement Massilia and my capital, I start to have corruption. The further your settlement is, the more corruption you have. And when you have a low, basically extra low bonus on your settlement, this low every 5% decreases the settlement income, settlement basically corruption expenses by 5%. So looks like it was corruption was 100 denarii per turn, and with 5% it's been decreased and now is 95. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but just having 10% basically overall plus a little bit of that, which is 100, not too much over here, so it helps. I mean, you can stack a couple fives together and make a quarter for yourself, you know. So if you follow this kind of logic, you're gonna save up a bit of money for each turn. Alright, so 10% public order bonus. So far that's the only temple line we've seen that solely focused on public order. No weapon upgrade, no missile upgrade, no experience. The others in the very first tier offers only 5% public order bonus, which all from happiness, but this guy's offers 10%, which is 5% from the low, which in my eyes it makes it more valuable, because the reason I'm building the temples is the public order bonus that I need to get, that I'm desperate for. That's why I think Isus is now one step ahead of its competitors, but we'll see at the end, at the summary, that how this might change. And let's see the devotion to justice over here. 1 finance for the slaves and -1 when not trading slaves. I haven't talked about any of these bonuses so far, but I want to say about the slaves, I think this is a little bit more useful than the other devotions. Why? Because you see it says +1 finance when trading iron. How many settlements on the world map overall has iron, right? You can of course get over here, I guess, and iron is over here. You can unclick the rest and you're gonna see that, okay, iron, where's the iron? For example, iron here, no, this is timber. 1 settlement, 2, 3, like, I mean, you can count them all and see how many settlements the iron has. So it means if you got this devotion, then you're gonna have to use your merchant in one of those spots, right? So their area of working is limited. But with the slaves, that's different story. Slaves is something you can manually make. If you're capturing a settlement, and if their population is high, and if you don't want to exterminate the settlement, then you just enslave, and that settlement is gonna have the slave basically node on the settlement, right? And then with that slave node, if your merchant is sitting on it, it's getting +1 finance. So you making those nodes manually. It's not like you don't have to basically be on specific province, specific node. You're just making those. So I think this is a little bit less specific used offers to us than the other devotions. Anyways, let's jump to the second tier temple. 10% from happiness, 10% from law, overall 20% public order. We already beat all the other temples, even in the third tier, and we went over them. All of them offers 15% of public order at most, but this guy already gets you 20% in the second tier. And we'll talk about now the 2 traits and 1 follower. Yes, 2 traits, not 1. I'm gonna explain you why you see only 1 over here. 1 is even-handed, gets you +1 law, which is, as you see here, improves the public order. Also, again, more law means more decrease on your corruption. But we have the counterpart of this trait, which is this trait in the game file is called as a just 1, right? But there is the opposite trait of the just, which is harsh justice 1. You can have both of these traits at the same time in the same person because of they are opposite to each other. But I'm gonna show you one how you basically how the other one looks, which is Punisher. +1 on the rest has a negative effect on public order, I'll show you now, and +2 low. So another one gives you +1 low, doesn't take anything else, just a pure +1 low. This gets you +2 low, but gets you +1 unrest. So unrest is, as you see over here, decreases your public order by 5%, but low increases your public order by 5%. So the another one gets you only one low, which means only 5% public order bonus and 5% decrease from the corruption. This guy gets you minus 5 public order plus 10, which overall makes it 5% public order bonus and 10% decrease from the corruption. So in this tier, which they of course they go up, harsh justice 2 and harsh justice 3, and the other one goes the same way, just 1, just 2, just 3. So in every step, in every tier, you're gonna be beneficial from the negative trait. Let's say the negative trait, and the more in this case. Why? Because you're always gonna have extra low, which is having low. Having low is better. Why is better? Because with the having low, you're gonna have more decrease on the corruption as well. So you know, with only having low, imagine like this: having +1 low or having +1 on rest, +2 low. Always +1 on rest, +2 low is gonna work better for you, because you're getting exact same public order bonus from each of them. They're the same, but you're getting extra decrease on your corruption with extra low point. So that's why I think the other one is a little better, but the both is pretty decent. The both is pretty good, and they both have 10% of chance to be triggered on your family member at the end of each turn. Of course, if the one is already in your family member's skill set, you're not gonna be able to get the other one. If you have couple generals in your settlement, then one of them might get a positive one, which is just this one over here. Maybe another one can get the harsh justice, which is the opposite trait of it. So I mean, whichever one is already triggered, you're not gonna be you're not gonna be able to get the other one. But of course, another family members can always have their chances to get the rest. And the follower, another priest here, 15% of chance again, 1 management, 10% discount on agent training cost plus 1 low. Management is good, low is good. Discount on agent training cost, especially agent training cost, is not that useful, because how often do you recruit an agent? Like, what is the most expensive agent? You know, I'm wondering. I wanna look, to be honest. Let's see. How much is that? 350, 500. Okay, 500 assassin. It is gonna get me 50 denarii off. I mean, how important do you think, guys, it is for you in this tier? So not that much for me, but management and law is great. So overall is a pretty decent piece to have. Now the last building we will be talking about here is Sacred Circle of Isus. 30% overall, which is twice as more as his competitors, and 15% from the low. And we're getting a new unit here. Druids, 12 morale, 13 melee attack. Both of them is very high, especially morale is very high. Defense is high, armor is high, defense skill is not bad, shield is low, charges mid to low, I would say. But one of the there's disadvantages here. Takes 2 turns again, unfortunately, and have only 80 men. I mean, I'm playing with the ultra unit scale, and you see that my peasants, they are like 300 men in the band, right? But this guy's has only 80. So again, I'm not a great fan and a player of barbarian factions, so I don't actually know how you should use the druids. But I see it here, it says chanting inspires nearby troops. So I'm assuming these guys are kind of support unit. So I think if you have like swordsmen or warbands in the front lines, then if you have couple druids behind them, I think these druids will always buff your units. So if that is the usage of this unit, then having 1 or 2 in each full stack army might be a good idea, for especially if they are increasing the morale of your units and the fight ability of your units. Then that is very important. I wouldn't recruit them for fighting, but I would recruit them maybe only for their chanting bonus, you know. So just keep that in your mind. If that's how it works, you might get pretty beneficial from it. Even if you have like one druid on every like 10-15 units of yours, then why not? I mean, let's say if it works the way, like let's say your swordsman has 8 morale, but if it has a druid next to them in the certain close area, then if their morale goes up to 10 like 10 or 12, then that's great. I mean, go ahead and recruit them, but not for fighting, only for their chanting bonus. But if the chanting bonus works the way that we are assuming that it works. All right. Overall, that's it about the Gallic temple folks. So now let's jump back to our summary and try to find out which is the best. So you might ask, like, okay, we've talked this much, but which is the best? Which one should I build? I mean, this answer depends, really depends on your playstyle and what actually you're trying to do and what you are looking for. So I'm kind of player. If you will take a look to my campaigns, we've already had 2 long campaigns in the YouTube. One was a very first one was a Greek cities world domination, and we just recently finished a Pontus campaign, another long campaign we were able to finish successfully. You're gonna see that the playstyle of mine is pretty aggressive. I don't sit in my settlement, build a lot of buildings, recruit full stack units, and then go to fight. I constantly, like, I capture the settlement, stay there 1 turn, recruit a peasant, and then keep going, right? So I play like aggressive expansion strategy. So for the players like me, I think what is the most important is public order bonus, because you're not keeping a lot of garrison behind, right? I usually do only 1 or 2 peasants, so they can at least maintain the public order in the settlement, and then I just move forward, right? So if you're the player like me, then a public order is very useful for you. But even me has a settlements that I'm recruiting from. So my playstyle is like this. Imagine I have 10 settlements, right? Every 10 settlement I have, in the 70% of them, pretty much 70-80, it all depends on the area to area and to the point of campaign. So like at least 6-7 of my settlements, they don't recruit any armies, and I don't build any like barracks, any stables, any archer ranges on there. I do focus economical side of those settlements. I try to increase the income of the settlement. I try to build the roads and upgrade them. I try to build the mines and upgrade them if they have one. The ports, the public order maintenance, this kind of stuff, you know. Not the, for example, not the barracks, not the stables, not the archer range. Economical buildings. I try to increase my turn per income. I try to decrease my expenditure for turn. In 6-7 of them, like averagely 70% of my settlements, I focus on that. So for keeping my costs down and my income high, what I need to do, I need to keep the least amount of garrison. So I usually recruit only 1 peasant if they don't bother me too much. If they their public order is very low, like lower than 70, then I get maybe 2 barbarian units, and I tax the settlement as much as possible. What I do achieve with that, I get a maximum amount of efficiency from the settlement as economy wise. So they are keeping my economy steady. You remember I said at the beginning of this video that if you will play the game right, if you will put your steps correctly, then you're never gonna have a money problem. That's how I achieve my basically financial freedom on the campaign with doing this. So 70 average, like 70% of my settlements are being focused on the economy side. I don't recruit any units from them unless I am very desperate, which in most of them I am not even having a buildings to recruit. Like in most of them I'm not building anything, so the only thing I'm having is a barbarian peasant. If the faction that that owned the settlement before me already built something, then that's different story. I might maybe able to recruit couple units, but I never build army buildings there. So why I'm telling that, because the another 3 settlements, another 30% of my settlements, I do focus completely opposite thing here. I do not build economy buildings. I do build army units, army buildings like barracks, stables, archer ranges, and blacksmith and stuff. And then that's where I usually recruit my armies from. That's where I form my armies from. And on those settlements, which usually I constantly recruit, I never having like only 1 or 2 most of the time units as a garrison. Usually they're having at least 5 or 6, sometimes even more. Then I am not basically being desperate for the public order that much. So my purpose on those settlements are being completely different. I am not trying to get a lot of money from them. I am trying to get a good units from them, right? And since I don't want to recruit in every settlement because that will decrease my income drastically, I do basically assign 1 or 2 settlements in my mind as my like military headquarters in each area, in each region, and then I do recruit from them. Imagine like now we have like 1 settlement here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10 settlements, right? Then what I would do, I would build like economy buildings on 7 of them, but 3 settlements probably I would spare for building the military units, right? Which one of them would be, of course I would first determine which settlements have the most income. For example, if I do have like great income in this settlement, then I would prefer to go, as you see there's a lot of trade and stuff, I prefer to go as an economy focused on this settlement. But if they don't matter, then I would maybe do Mediolanum my military settlement. Number 1 settlement, which for my military headquarters, Mediolanum. Why? Because I can recruit armies here for fighting with the Romans. I can go to east. I can go to against Germans. Another one I might do as a military focus in the Numantia, because it is kind of a little bit on the difficult area to defend. It's far from the rest of my settlements. I would recruit a lot of armies here, try to conquer this area, and then maybe I would go with Condata Redonum, so I would make a deployments for the British islands and stuff. So you got the logic. That would be my play style. So now you understand what kind of player I am and what is my tactic. So I would go ahead and build Isus temple in that 7 of settlements where I do need the public order the most, so I can tax the people the highest, as high as I can, and I can keep the lowest garrison I can. So I would go with the Isus. But with the other 3 settlements where I would basically go with the military focus, then I would build each one of the temple. Like I would build in one of those 3 settlements, I would build Teutadis, another one I would build Epona, another one I would build Abnoba. The reason why, because I would like to get all those traits and followers from different temples, and more important than that, if you want to maximize your units even at the very beginning, like without even going to the fight, what you can do, you can train all your units as much as possible from the settlement where you have the Epona, because that is what gives the most bonus as a start, 3 experience bonus to your troops. Then just move your troops to the settlement where you build the Teutadis. You had already experienced extra 3 points, so that is gonna be ignored, but you can upgrade all the light weapon on your army if you have a lot. If you have a lot of warbands, then take them to the settlement where you build the Teutadis. Let them get their weapon upgrades. And if you have missiles, then get them to the settlement where you have Abnoba, since they're gonna have extra 3 missile weapon upgrade. So with that, let's now again go back to the archers. Let's say you recruited an archer in a settlement where you have the Epona. They're gonna start with 3 experience point, which means extra 14 melee attack, 14 missile attack, and 10 defense, which means like 7 defense skill, right? And plus you take them from the settlement, you recruited them in there, and then you move them to the settlement where they have the Abnoba basically sacred circle. So that 14 missile attack is gonna be 17 missile attack, which is like a, imagine your Forester warbands is gonna have AKs in their hand, you know, for their probably is gonna be very superior, very like strong missile unit. So that is one combination you can make. Of course, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take turns, because it takes 2 turns to build one unit, and let's say you build like 5 or 6 of them, which you want to have like at least 4 or 5 archers in one unit. I usually try to have like 30% of my whole army from the best missiles I have, which is Forster band. It's gonna take at least 10 turns to build those guys. Let's say you build them over here 10 turns, they have 3 experience points. I'm assuming you have Epona sacred circle on the settlement, and then you're gonna have to move them to the another one where you have the Abnoba sacred circle. The whole journey might take couple turns, and then 1 turn for retraining them, and you're gonna have like very superior units at the end. So that is all. That would be my playstyle. That's how I would apply those bonuses to my playstyle, but of course this can differ from player to player, from person to person. I was just trying to explain my point of view. So folks, here we are. That was the last faction in our temple guide series that we talked. From this week after, Fridays is unfortunately is not gonna be any temple guides anymore, because we've made all the temple guides already. If you missed any of them, you can go to the playlist easily and take a look what kind of things we've talked about in the faction you want to see. So I haven't decided, to be honest, what I'm gonna be doing at Fridays instead of the temple guides. It might be just a regular campaign day. I might have come up with another idea. I have to work on it, and as I said, I was kind of not very available for spending too much time on recording and stuff, even gaming, to be honest. And I'm gonna think on that, but so far that was the end of another series in our YouTube channel. Probably the new one is gonna start instead of that, but yeah, I hope folks you all enjoyed. For the people who have watched all this series until this point and been supporting me, I do really appreciate folks you a lot. I mean, I am feeling very happy to share my knowledge and to research those things, even for myself, and especially sharing with you feels like 10 times better. And I would be very happy if I would know that some of you that getting something useful from it. So overall, I do appreciate for all the support that you guys are giving to me, and if you want to do support me further, just like the videos, share your comments, share your thoughts on the comment section if you have one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. That would be another thing that you could support me. I would appreciate it a lot, and I will be seeing you in the further videos, folks. It doesn't mean that we are done with the Rome Total War series. Of course, we're gonna have much more new videos. So but for the Temple Guide series, that's all. Again, I hope you all learned something from here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will be seeing you in the further videos, in the further series. You all take care, and we'll see you soon.